Welcome to episode 154 of the Thunder Underground podcast. I'm Trent, this is Jason, and this week we've got three of the members of Claim Your Enemy.
Yes, we do.
Back for a third time.
Yep, our good buddies.
Yes, well, actually, Travis, the drummer, is back for his third time. Devon's back for his second time, and Jade is making his first appearance.
Yes.
So we've had him on a couple times previously in different incarnations. The first time was episode 69 with the full Devil You Adore band. And then episode 120 was with Travis and Devon. And that was, I believe, still where it was right before the transition to Claim Your Enemy, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then now
we're in it full bore.
Yeah. Here we are. We got the three of them came out and talked to us for a lengthy interview.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that here shortly.
They got to the house a little bit before you did. They got to watch my dog pee on the floor.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It was just a great night.
It was. And then after this interview, which, the recorded part is like an hour and 45 minutes, and then we still hung out way longer than that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went into Tulsa and saw Driver perform and then Grind perform, and they went with us as well. So
yeah, it was
great. A good, nice Saturday with the guys from Claim Your Enemy. But before we get to that, we need to mention that we were going to Black Label Society this Friday with a very great triple bill, including Corrosion Conformity and I Hate God.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this show, as well as at least three others I know of, I think maybe it's 5 total now, have been canceled. And for Black Label Society to be canceling 5 shows, at first I was like, well, I've seen him, I'll see him again. But then you think about that. Yeah. That's not common, for Zach to be canceling shows. So it's kind of scary, but I hope it's just something like the flu and not something like severe. I don't think they've really said, have they?
No, but I just saw an Instagram post from a little bit ago, and he said he was sorry to all the chapters that are getting canceled on.
Okay.
And that he's taking his, uterus crushing steroids, or however it is he always goes into all that,
right?
The hymen penetrating steroids of doom and all those words and phrases he loves to use, as only Zach could. And he did that and, said that they'll be back soon. So, and not to get too off topic, but the shit's going around, man. Everyone's fucking getting sick.
Yeah.
So it's that time of year and, shit happens.
Yeah.
I just, I might look happy with my beer right now, but a little bit ago I was fucking down in some Alka-Seltzer a little bit ago.
Right.
So it's going around.
Yeah. Well, of course, hopefully he gets back on track soon and they're going to reschedule all these dates. And I just hope that somehow it works out that COC and I Hate God's along for the ride. I know a lot of times when they reschedule stuff, the openers can't accommodate because they've got other stuff going on.
That's
but
right.
I saw in a post yesterday that COC said that there's a good chance they will be with them at their made-up dates. So
good, cool.
Let's hope it happens. And if you're in the Missouri or even Oklahoma area, COC is actually using Friday night to do a show in Springfield now. And I Hate God's with them. It's a headline gig, so get out there if you can. And speaking of COC, their album No Cross, No Crown comes out tomorrow.
Yes.
And we were fortunate enough to get an advance copy. And as a huge fan of this band, I wasn't blown away like I was with some of the albums, but I was extremely happy.
Really?
I like everything I heard, but it wasn't like one shot where I thought, holy shit, this is as good as, Wise Blood or Deliverance or Americans Volume Dealer or whatever. But I love what I heard. And I'm sure after 3 or 4 more listens, I'm going to be like, this is the greatest album of 2018. It's 2 weeks in that 2018, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I damn near got the whole thing done. I need to listen to it again all the way through. Work was kind of crazy yesterday, so I kind of got, I got most of it in, and I was really impressed. I really like how they kind of went back to, the first couple of albums with Pepper where they kind of have the little interludes.
Right.
That was cool. And everything that I heard so far, stands right up there with the rest of it. I know once I dig deeper into this thing, I'll love it even more. So it's already going to be my top 5.
Right.
I can already tell you that.
Along with Machine Head and who knows, and Saxon.
Fucking Saxon and fucking, Jesus Christ, what else is coming out, you know?
Something we're forgetting.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's, after one listen, there was at least 4 songs that I thought, well, this could have easily been on Wise Blood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this could have, and not be a B-side. Like, that's how good it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure after we delve into this more, we'll bring a full review in our next episode. But until then, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, just, it was, it sucks that it got canceled, but, it is what it is.
Right. Yeah. So, this Friday night in Tulsa, they're airing
That's right.
this documentary at Circle Cinema, which is a documentary about the Sex Pistols and their show at the Cain's Ballroom. And this Friday is actually the 40th anniversary. January 12th, 1978 was the day they played Tulsa. But more importantly than that is after the show, after the film, there's an after party at the Beehive Lounge, which is directly across the street from the Circle Cinema.
Okay.
And there's a band called the Sex Rifles performing a full set of covers. I don't know if they're doing the exact set that Sex Pistols did at the Cain's or if they're just doing Sex Pistols songs or what. But it includes Chad Malone and Terry Waska.
Yes.
And I can't remember the other names, do you? If not, that should be enough to get you there anyway.
Yes, definitely.
So, if you're into punk, this is definitely a must-see show because Chad Malone is like the punk lord of Tulsa. I'll say it.
It's the truth.
Right.
Yeah, get out to this show. We're kind of thinking about going, so.
Yeah, now that we're not going to the COC thing.
Exactly, yeah. Well, because I remember when they announced this, I was like, fuck, I'd really like to see that. And I was like, well, shit, I'm going to be out of town. But now we're not going to be out of town anymore.
Definitely.
So, I don't know. I think we just made plans. Did we just make plans, Trent?
Oh, we did. Right here in front of everybody.
Oh, man. That's not the worst thing we've done in front of people.
That's true.
But anyways.
And it won't be the last worst thing or whatever, however you want to say that.
Yeah, unfortunately, there'll be many more. We're fucking heathens.
Right. Well, in the meantime, you need to go to thethunderunderground.com. All our social media's on there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What am I forgetting? YouTube. Follow us and like us on all those things. And then go to iTunes. Even if you're not listening on iTunes, go there and give us a review.
Definitely.
Like episodes, whatever. Same thing if you're listening on TuneIn or SoundCloud, whatever. Like the episode. Like it on Facebook. It all helps spread our word.
Yes, definitely.
So to speak. Well, let's get into this. We've got Travesty Davis, the drummer, Devon LaCour, the vocalist, and Jade Martin, the bassist.
That's right.
Of Claim Your Enemy.
Talking about
each and every one of you are going to be put on the spot, especially you.
He has a very somber way of talking. So, like, if we're in the car or something, and it's like he's oblivious. He'll stare as he's driving, and I know he's talking to me because I can see him looking at me, but I can't hear dick he's saying.
We always got the radio full. It might happen.
Right? No, don't kid, please.
You got to scream over the radio at all times. It's the only way it's legal.
And it's funny because, like, and you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, whenever you listen to a podcast, or I'm sure when you guys host a podcast, you'll have that one guy in the band who talks really, really softly, and all the other guys are real loud or whatever, and then you hear him and he's like, ah, da, da, da. And that's what it was like when we did the, what was it, the Dr. Jeffrey and the Madman.
Yeah.
He would say something, and I'm me, so I'm loud. I'm loud and he's loud, and then he'd say something, and it'd sound like he was sitting in a different room.
Well, we've done that with bands, and then half the time, the guy with the quietest voice will be sitting the furthest from the mic.
Mm-hmm.
So
Luckily,
this is good. You're right here.
Or end up being the singer.
We'll pick you up good. Don't worry.
I'm gonna keep giving him shit, and he's gonna lock up on me.
Right.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
I ain't gonna say shit.
Hey, well, that first time, this was before you guys in the band, we had to like coax Rhett to even say anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It wouldn't be any different now.
Yeah.
He might chime in. It's funny when I think it was Bands Against Bullying. At Bands Against Bullying, they did like this live deal with us when they were asking us questions. And Rhett, the only thing he said the entirety of the time was like, "I'm Rhett Bobby, and I play the get fiddle." I was like, that was it.
No,
hey, that'll work.
Still have that video.
Yeah, it was pretty great. He's a funny cat, man. But man, he'll bang his head on stage.
Dude, he rocks out. Rhett's just a quiet farmer, man.
It's all right.
Raises his cows and stuff. You know, he's a father from. I ain't gonna say rock star because he's rock star, but it's like he likes to go to shows and rock out, but if he ain't doing that, he's messing with his cows and constantly being a farmer and trying to make the ranch work.
Yeah, it's funny all day at work because he's got longer hair, but he wears a ball cap. So all day at work, you won't even know he has longer hair. It'll be under his hat.
Oh no,
he'll have long sleeves.
That happened to me because when I first joined, I might have already talked about this. I don't remember, but whenever I first saw their post, the very first day that I went out there to try out or whatever, Rhett was wearing a long sleeve shirt and a ball cap. And I was like, all right, whatever. So do the whole little deal and sang the song with him that I'd written to and whatever, and left. And then the next time, they had offered me the spot. So I came back for practice the next time, and he was dressed the same way, long shirt. But we had gone outside to smoke, and he didn't go with us. And I go back in, and he has taken the long sleeve shirt off and taken his hat off. I was like, who in the fuck? How did this happen? Because he's got those tattoos and his long hair. I thought it was a completely different person.
Like he stepped in the phone booth real quick.
I was like, are y'all replacing the guitarist too? What's going on?
Everybody recognizes Brian from his beard.
Yeah.
Brian's
he's like, that's your guitar player.
Too.
Well, by the time this airs, you guys will be on a break.
Yeah. I won't even really get to listen to it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, you're completely out of commission for several months, right?
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that, or is that...
no, that's
thing?
fine.
Okay.
So I joined the Army National Guard, and I ship out January 2nd, and I couldn't really get a direct answer on exactly how long I'll be gone, but I'll be gone because I'll do all of it together. So you've got your basic training, and then after you graduate basic training, you do tech school. So I'll go do basic training January to March or something. And then, it might not be that, I don't know. I don't want to do math, and then from that time till probably early mid-May, I'll be in tech school, and then I'll get out and come back home.
Wow.
So that's kind of one of the reasons that I went National Guard, because the military is something that I've always wanted to do. And whenever I got out of high school, I couldn't. So I've tried the Navy when I first got out of high school. And then I decided to go ahead and go to college. And then I had gotten even more involved in music. So I was like, well, if I join the military, I can't do music and I don't want to do that. So I basically put it off. And so I was working at the jail in Muskogee. And there's a guy there who's in the National Guard. And he's a musician. I just don't think he plays out. I don't think he has a band or anything. But he's a guitar player and he puts a lot of stuff up on YouTube. And he was talking to me about that. And I guess now I know, for the National Guard, I'll basically have one weekend a month where I have to do drill. So, other than that, I'm like everybody else. I'm home, I have a job or school or whatever, I work, I play music. And it's not the same as if I would have gone active duty and had to have, been sent to a duty station somewhere else for, the entirety of my time in. So I decided to go that route. That way I didn't have to stop doing music.
Plus, I'm cool with the break.
Don't lie. You are, but okay.
But I'm still going to be busy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Personally,
at first I wasn't. I was like,
the thing that freaks me out about it is that, first of all, I'm not really horribly sentimental, so I wasn't really worried about like missing people. But as it's gotten closer, it's like, oh shit, I'm about to have a hard time. Like, there's a few people in my life that I really don't want to go close to 6 months without seeing, and so that's hard. And then just the idea of I haven't had a break this long of not doing anything musically related at all for 10 years or more. And that's really blowing my mind.
That's kind of where I'm like setting at too. I'm like, man, I've been going from playing Red Dirt and stuff into Travesty within and the W Door, and then it's all taken up quite a few years space. And I'm like, so once I kind of got past I get to get a break, man. You know what I mean? So it kind of sunk in that, wow, this is actually welcomed, you know?
I don't know, like...
I mean, it sucks to not be playing shows. We love to play shows and we love the jam.
I was
but also,
curious
too, to have a break.
Like, what are you, Jade, Brian, Brett? Are you guys going to still jam on occasion?
Oh, yeah. We'll probably jam 2 or 3 times a month and just write all new stuff.
Which is exciting for me, because there's like... I'm kind of weird. I mean, I guess it's not weird. Maybe a lot of people are like this, but one of my favorite things about music is the construction of the song itself. Whether it's, in the structure or just lyrically sitting down and, getting a certain feeling from the music, being hit by an idea, and then starting to put the words together and try to make sense of... Because I don't necessarily, when I sit down to write a song, I don't always necessarily have like a word that comes to my mind, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's more of like, okay, so this is how I feel, and then trying to somehow put words to this feeling. And that process of kind of worming through everything and figuring it out, and then presenting it, obviously first to them. That's one of my favorite things. And then, then eventually playing that for other people. That whole process right there is my absolute favorite thing about music. And so,
see, like he'll have to do like a certain amount of period where you won't hear from him. Was it like a couple months, 2, 3 months, or whatever, and then he'll probably have access when he goes to like that tech school, where we can get back into communication with one another, so we can send him stuff of what we've been jamming on, like junk footage or whatever. He can hear through the den and know what's going on, So,
But do you like to write like that? Like develop songs before you write lyrics to it?
Sometimes. I think it depends on, and I guess it's hard because, if I'm the only one listening to it at that time, it's just my opinion. I don't have the other guys there with me being like, well, because I'm a really big structure person. When I hear a song, because I don't hear instrumentals as instrumentals. If I listen, like even if it's somebody else's instrumental, if I'm listening to it, I'm hearing melodies and lyrics and things like that. I never hear it that way. And so sometimes, to me, the structure is not complete, or it needs, I have some suggestions on fine-tuning different things and maybe rearranging something or adding something or whatever the case may be. So usually what happens with that, and we've had a couple songs like that where they had already written it at a different time, and then I'll get a recording of it and listen to it, and then as the melodies start to come about and the lyrics start to come about, I'll be like, okay, well, this section here would be really cool if it was a breakdown or whatever the case may be. So it's not, I like doing it that way. It's just, I would say I don't necessarily come out with a finished product, if that makes sense. It's like a draft. It's like a first draft of a song.
Like some of them songs, it's actually on, this EP deal we're working on. It's
well, the EP's done.
It's done, but just but besides cover art and all that kind of stuff.
That's a good point. I guess that's important.
But it's like some of them were W Adore songs that was just never recorded. You know what I mean? We played them live, but then we had them, like, we really liked these songs. They never felt complete. So the way we was playing them there, we might, like, take them out of the chorus into the verse. We might have to hang time some little things right there because we wasn't used to, like, him when he sings. He really carries the notes out instead of singing like the punky style in the boom, boom. You know, it was more of a switch off. So we went back in to start redoing them songs like that. It was start taking them little bitty parts and changing them around, you know, so they become different songs. I don't even know what they used to be.
So, and that, I guess, in a way, can kind of segue into the next thing is, you know, when Devon gets back in springtime or whatever, what's the plan moving forward? What do you guys want to accomplish?
Well, we've been offered to play Rocklahoma on one of the stages, you know. Mm-hmm. Whether we do or not, it's like, still, I don't know. I mean, I kind of miss just being, even though we played the last 2 years, I love to play there. Mm-hmm. I kind of also miss being a fan there.
I definitely get that.
And so I left it up to the guys. If they want to do it, I'm cool with it. If not, I'm cool with that too because I'm still going. But we do have booked the Bands Against Bullying too. Mm-hmm. The second year of it will be
June 6th or 9th?
I'm not sure. It's not even really released yet, but we are all going to be on it.
Just ignore me. I didn't say anything.
Well, I'm not sure the dates of it. It's in June, but. You know, I don't know if it's going to be a Rock Rage Radio part of it or if it's going to be a smaller scale of it. Or
I wonder if it'll have a lot of the same bands. I figure it probably would have several.
I don't know. It sounds like they might be trying to make it pretty big. I figure
they'd probably get smaller.
I mean, that would make sense. But
it was a really good lineup. That was a good lineup up there. Chris did a good job on that one.
Yeah, they were all pretty good, so I figured they'd try to get back most of the ones from it that they could. And then I didn't know if they'd try or get one or a few more. It was pretty fun, though, the last one.
Yeah. So basically, we're just going to go back into playing shows. We'll hopefully with a new set.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be working on.
Because I know I've talked to all of them about it. I'm kind of, and whether or not this will come across, I don't know, but I've been listening to a lot heavier music recently, and I think kind of when I was in King High, the guys kind of wanted to do more of a rock thing and less of a metal thing, which, you know, I hadn't really done that, so that was cool. And I think that in turn segued into me listening to a lot more just rock style, hard rock style, not as typical metal. And then since this batch of songs that we've written for Claim Your Enemy, I've been listening to a lot heavier music, and I've kind of got that hankering to have a little bit of that kick you in the teeth.
I think it's going to go heavier because every one of us is in the same mindset. You know what I mean? Like when we get back together, we'll probably, like us four will probably get back together here in January. We're all ready to. We're kind of just ready for him to get the hell out of the way and let's get in our jam. We know just after, you know, maybe the first weekend or two, we'll get
say
back
that
in there.
knowing I don't have a choice.
Truth comes out.
No, we're going to miss him.
Did I just get fired?
But
it's been a while since we've actually had opportunity with all of our schedules to actually be able to sit down and, you know.
Been like 4 months or so since we've all been in the same room to practice.
Played shows.
Yeah. But we've just been running off the same.
As far as, which that's...
We was doing a show about every weekend. Or
that's probably the easiest.
Has any of those shows ever been like, oh, fuck, we haven't practiced in a couple weeks, let's just go and...
It all goes away on stage.
I think some of us...
That's cool, though. That's
everybody is a little different.
Yeah.
Like, I think it hits some of us a little bit harder than others. Like me, I'm not going to say I don't worry about it, because if I thought about it, I would worry about it. But it doesn't cross my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Me is the physicality of it. I like to be able to continue to play shows or practice play shows, you know, but I've been one of the lax ones too, you know, being like, hell, I'm cool if we don't, you know. But when you ain't played a show for 2 or 3 weeks and then you go back in and play a show, well, that 30, 45 minutes is like pretty exhausting, you know what I mean? I put everything I got, so
that's the biggest
a bunch
thing.
of damn cigarettes, drink a bunch
That's
of coffee,
the biggest thing
drink a bunch
too.
of energy drinks.
It's like because you guys were there in Tulsa,
pounds.
right? This last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one physically for me, that one was a little rough. And I don't like. I smoke, and I'm not the most physically in shape person right now. But yeah, give it a little bit of time. Yeah,
doing what you're gonna do. Yeah, you will.
That's been the biggest thing is not having, because in practice, you don't. Me personally, like, it's just not the same. Like, practice, sing the song how I'm supposed to sing it. If I mess it up and we do it again, whatever. But you're not jumping around and, you know, trying to get people to mosh with you or going and whatever.
You were all over the place, man.
Yeah, but that's not like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't go to play a show and I'm not like, all right, so today I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Like, and even if I did, which I've tried in the past, as soon as, and it's always the same thing every single time. I remember about the first 30 seconds of the first song, and then it's like, I don't remember anything about the set until the end, unless there's something that happens. Like, Rock the Equinox is a good example, because as soon as we started the set, same thing happens. I remember exactly where I was standing. I remember exactly who I was looking at. I don't know their name, but I remember their face. Right as soon as the first song started, I got that picture in my head. And then I remember turning and going back across the stage, and that was it. Until, I think it was Brian's guitar.
His was first, then Rex.
Okay, so both guitar players broke a string. One after the other.
First two songs.
And so
Mercy
I just
Flaw,
remember being
man.
snapped out of it. Because here I'm rolling. I'm off in Devon land. I don't know what's going on. But that's what I remember is somebody saying, "Hey, I broke a string," and then we started talking about heavy metal barbecue or something. I was winging it. I don't know.
We got moshed by all the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other
It
thing.
was cool at first because it was kind of fun.
Then
But then we started getting, chords and stuff stepped on it. So we ended up having to stop between songs.
And of course,
to
I'm who has
evacuate.
to ask them. I'm the one with the microphone, so I'm the one who has to be like, "Hello, cute children, get off the stage." I felt really bad.
That was cool with them, but after a couple of songs, man, they started getting rowdy.
They were getting into it. It was
They were
cool
like, "Bam."
because the way that the stage was set up, right in the middle of the stage, they had these stacked monitors. So there was one monitor, and it was almost like a small pyramid kind of deal. And all the kids were sitting on the small pyramid. So at one point, I was standing amongst the kids, and they were having a good. And then they ended up going backwards and around me, and
They
it
came
was starting
up
to get
during
hectic.
that kind of that slower song, "Hesitate," and that was partly the main part because when they all started coming up, it was a more mellow song.
Oh, it's because I
And then
sat
after
down
that,
on
it
the
got
monitor.
heavier, and that's when it's.
I sat down on
'cause
the
he
monitor.
Gets down in front, likes to walk around and stuff during that song. So they had all got up there. Then we started doing the heavier songs after that. And that's when it started.
It was crazy, man. I remember this little bitty kid. He just like beating his head at me. I'm like, it's badass. You know what I mean? I would like the feeling of. When I was that young, I didn't get to do that. You know what I mean? I got to see my grandpa play it, like bluegrass deals and shit like that. But not like. So I was like, man, this is
That's what's cool
it's an
about
honor
those
for
things.
for them. But
Stuff like Rock the Equinox and even Bands Against Bullying, I remember being similar because for me, bands I've been in, a lot of places you play, you don't get the opportunity to have up-team kids just running around.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, there's either an age limit or whatever the case may be, or I don't want to take my baby to a metal show, whatever the case. And both of those shows, there were a lot of kids, and all of them were really getting into it. And even, I think, at Bands Against Bullying, Crane Technique pulled, it was like, it had to have been like 30 little kids up on the stage. And like
awesome.
that kind of thing, that's really awesome. So if you're a parent and you're doing that, you're raising them right.
Definitely.
I think they had to end up running all of them off too
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
same sort of
got
thing.
rowdy.
Wow.
But they had a lot of kids on stage
Yeah.
jumping up and down. Dennis had them jumping, you know, and that was a pretty good sized stage, so
I
there
bet
was a
you
lot
could,
of room.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of thing is really awesome. I'm hoping. I mean, Rock the Equinox is pretty much a yearly thing, right? I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
so I'm hoping that both of those kind of turn out the same way and even bigger if they can. That'd be great.
Yeah. We're hoping to get Fist of Rage and Grind down there this year.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that would
Because
be awesome.
Paulette and CJ both came this past year.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I felt like they were outside band members that come down to our little hometown to check out the show.
I don't know, did they end up camping with us?
I don't think
I don't
they
think
did
so, but
So a lot
I
of
haven't
people
played with
just
Grind
camped.
since like 2013.
See, I ain't even never
14?
got to see Grind. That's
Really?
why I was kind of.
Oh my God, you gotta see that.
I
man.
told,
I know.
see,
They're so fucking good.
the thing about them is, and I was telling him, and they don't do it all the time, but I remember they used to play Damn That River,
Yeah.
and when I would go to one of their shows, they would pull me up to sing Damn That River with them, and that was really badass, but I felt like, because I don't like feeling like I'm in the way, because like, it's not my time to be on stage, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool. I mean, they're great guys. And CJ, because I think
So I hung out with CJ. I could to Rock the River, and then and at Rock the Equinox.
yeah, CJ and Paulette. Well, Fist of Rage played it.
Yeah, but I said that's the first I'd really met him. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
And I've heard like the new single and stuff y'all played and stuff.
yeah. We had
I listened to some of their music. I mean, I dig it. I just ain't got a chance to see them.
when King High, when we put on that show in Muskogee, we had Grind come and play it with us.
Like, see, I ain't seen Oklahoma Braves yet. That disappoints me.
Yeah. They're hard, though, because they don't play that
I
often.
had them booked on one of the shows that I was doing, and they had to end up canceling out because I guess one of the members had a wife that had gotten ill or something and had to take some time off, to help with that and stuff. So they had to, I know they didn't want to, but it was one of them deals. I almost got to see them.
Well, when we have our Thunder Underground festival.
It needs to happen.
Oh,
Just
please,
kidding.
please.
Just kidding.
It needs to happen.
It'll never happen.
It will happen.
Why do you say this? Okay,
That shit takes money.
let's talk. Let's talk.
But
which I don't have.
It takes money, yeah, but there's also a lot of people that support too.
I bet you could do
True.
it. I bet as many people as you guys know, I bet you could find a
You
way.
could
What we're
probably
gonna
you could
do
pick,
is
you
we're
could
gonna-
pick your
I'm
video.
good. I'm
Pick
good
a
with.
bunch of bands.
I'm good with koozies right now.
We're going to call
That was-
Steve Murdoch. Say,
Yeah.
Put this together and then slap our name on top
Yeah,
of it.
there
Yes.
you go.
Yeah. Exactly. Why not?
You hear that,
And
Steve?
we'll do nothing. Just slap our name on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he's got a stage too now. At
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Looks like
I
he
saw
does.
them
We'll
post
see.
that on Facebook. That's cool.
We'll see.
He was at the Tulsa show too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on.
Yeah, he
Facebook.
left before we played. Just
Well-
saying, Steve Murdoch.
Yeah. But
Damn it, Steve.
we're working on it. We've got Rolling Stones,
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, Metallica,
Getting the Rolling Stones.
Dishwalla. Definitely. We might find a spot for you guys.
Didn't you guys also resurrect Lane Staley?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what
And
I
Cliff
think.
Burton.
That's what I thought.
Maybe
And
next
Cliff Burton.
seeing the Rolling Stones, which I love the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Like watching the California Raisins.
California Raisins too. They're going to be there, and the
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So
Anyways, okay. Next question.
Yes.
We'll put Jade on the spot a little bit. Talk about this year, your time in the band, and what you think of it.
can I add to this? one
Pretend
thing?
these guys aren't here.
This is his anniversary weekend. 1 year
Really?
in the band
Oh,
this
awesome.
weekend.
Well, this is
So
perfect.
it's
then.
what we're
Great time to
celebrating.
ask you.
And on the tail end of that, this is kind of the generic question, but who your influences and who you like. So go.
It kind of varies a lot, I mean, because like if I, say turn the playlist on my phone right now, so till one may be playing like Hank Jr. or Merle, then you hit next and be a Five Finger or
Yeah.
Disturbed or something.
Something hip hop.
Or,
I've heard
there's a
hip-hop.
couple. I swear. But I started playing with them. It was a year ago this weekend, wasn't it? Because it was the first show was January 6th at the Shrine.
He was only in the band 2 weeks. When
I think we were there.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning that you hadn't even been playing that long at that point, right?
Yeah, we had, what was it, 2 practices before that show?
Yeah.
I showed up. First practice is, what do we do? About 10 songs or so.
Probably the set.
Yeah, and showed up that first practice and learned them all. Then went that next weekend and we just kind of rehearsed over it. Then that week was whenever we played at the Shrine up there. It wasn't the Arson City.
This is the Arson City show, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. But I had never. They're the first people I'd really sat down and played with.
Wow.
You'd only been playing bass for 2 weeks.
So y'all never been in a band prior to this?
No, because I hung out with them quite a bit, leading up to it. And they had told me to come hang out. They was having practice. And I still remember I walked in the door and it was, I think Brian pointed at me and said, "You." And I'm kind of, I'm still standing in the doorway. I'm thinking, uh-oh. But he says, "You play bass?" And I was like, "No, I've never messed with one really." He said, "Well, you got a guitar though, right?" I said, "Yeah." Because we'll get up here, see what we can do. And that was that first practice.
Wow.
And we did that show and one more with
the VFW.
Diz, with Delaney doing the W Adore set. And then that's shortly before he had joined in. And we switched, learned a new set, did the Claim Your Enemy stuff. And it's been pretty fun though. We're getting to sit down, or write songs or learn songs. And
That's insane. I mean, I was in a band and we rehearsed for like a year or two before we even tried to get a gig. So for you to do something like 2 weeks, I started playing 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm gonna do this gig.
I'm not going.
My hat's off to you.
Not
All
gonna lie,
respect.
that first show,
That's great.
Following Arson City was kind of intimidating.
I bet. But you did it, and
That's actually
and you know what? Right, that gig that you did was probably worth like 80 fucking practices. That's cool.
On stage
That's
at the
really
Shrine in
cool.
Tulsa,
Yeah.
man. So that'd always be your first.
Exactly.
gig.
that's one of the
Getting
most
thrown to the wolves,
interesting
basically.
things about this band.
We took him out of state.
The number one difference, well, there's actually a lot, but the one thing I noticed right off the bat is I don't know how long it was exactly from the very first legitimate practice that I had with you guys to the first show. But
Oh, no, it was about 3 or 4 weeks.
So about a
yeah, I was going
month.
to say,
Yeah.
it wasn't very long.
It was about a month.
So,
'cause that
it was like-
Arlington.
I think it was 6 songs, 5 songs, 6 songs.
Yeah, something like that.
So went in, wrote 6 songs, brand new, practiced the whole set twice, and then off to Texas we went and played. I have never, ever been in a band that was that gung-ho to just be like, fuck it, let's go, and I thought it was great. I thought it was great because every other band I've been in, every single one, which I understand it, and I'm not really hating on it, it just drives me insane because I want to play the show. I want to go meet people. I want to shake people's hands. I want to have a great time. I want to interact. That's what but it was at least, I don't think I have ever played a show within the first year of being in a band.
See, yeah, exactly.
Other than this one.
Exactly. That's
And
insane.
it's right about that.
To
It's
me,
right about a year.
It's like, well, if we have a show, we need to like rehearse like a million fucking times.
Well,
And
we probably
but at the same
should.
time, what you guys do to me is that's great. That's awesome.
It adds pressure to the new guys.
Yeah.
There's
I don't mean to be that way, but
even in,
kind of like, fuck
that's-
it, let's go, man. Look it, we'll go with it.
we were talking about this, Travis and I, the other day, is that's kind of, for better or worse, because everybody's got their opinion and whatever, but that just kind of seems to be how we handle ourselves. Whether it's for a show or like the recording, for instance. It's not absolutely perfect. If you were to sit there and put a metronome to it, you'd be like, there's some spots that are kind of weird, but I think at first it drove me nuts because I'm not used to it. But there's something about just playing by feel. Not that you shouldn't tighten things up, and not that we won't work on it or nothing like that. It's just there's a certain it's more emotional to me to just fall into it, whether it's on the recording or at a show, and just kind of let it take you wherever it's going to take you, as opposed to trying to turn it into a science. Because I've definitely been in bands where, and I think like the first couple of bands I was ever in, it was so scientific. You know, a couple of them were music majors, and that's amazing, and they know way more about the nuts and bolts of music than I ever will. But at some point, that's not what attracts people. It's what you feel, and that's my favorite thing about this band, and my favorite thing about the album we just did itself is that it's just us. It's raw. We got in there. We did it. We even tried at one point. I think Travis tried to play to a metronome, and it's not that he couldn't do it. It just didn't feel right. So we took it off. We redid it, and we just did it how it came out. How it came out.
But it was like the song itself was talking about is the sweet silence. So it's really like a double bass. It's that one, and it's got. So there's different changes. So you got that part that's this one time, well then this part's this time, and this, you'd have to set. We'd be wasting an hour trying to set the metronome.
I'm not sure.
I'm just like, get rid of it.
I'm not sure that any.
Because it's different speeds.
Including myself, I don't think anybody realized that song actually had multiple time signatures.
I didn't ever know it until we started trying to.
I didn't either.
Click it.
Like, it makes sense to me now that we went into the studio and we did it, and we were like, that's got multiple time signatures. That's not. It makes sense now, but at the time, just listening to it, I didn't even realize it. But nobody's heard that one yet. No. I mean, they have live, but.
So it's going to be called Mirrors.
The EP, yeah.
Reflections that haunt you.
Nice.
Subtitle.
Parenthesis.
So is this going to come out soon, or are you waiting until he's back in action?
Probably let it go beforehand. We'll probably have it all done because we're really working on artwork right now, and not actually in December ain't hardly did shit. Just been hanging out, but to give us something to do, while he's gone, we'll start working on artwork for it. And we all got ideas, so we got all his ideas before he goes, and then we go give it to everybody and kind of put it together.
I even drew a shitty little picture.
It's going to look pretty cool because we're not going to be like just throw this little cheap thing together. We're going to have a good looking piece of art, and it's probably we've been talking about. It'll be kind of since there's 7 songs, but they'll probably be divided up in mirrors and reflections instead of side 1 and side 2 or A or B. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be. We're trying to get all this kind of. We don't want it to be like nothing else.
The thing about it is, this is
totally different.
I think number one, and this is again something Travis and I talked about, was this isn't just some songs we went in and recorded. It's not just like, all right, cool, whatever, put it in some little paper thing and off you go. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just think we care a little bit more about the songs than that, and we have more faith in the songs than that, and we want the entirety of the project to do the songs justice, because regardless, I mean, that's what it's about. It's about the music, but we don't want to represent it in a negative light before anybody even hears it, or in a way that we feel falls short. And that's the thing, and I didn't even realize it until he mentioned it, because he was listening to the lyrics, and some of these songs, like Hesitate, for instance, it's not exactly the same, but I wrote about 85-90% of that song when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
And the only thing that's different is the chorus. And like all of these songs I had written at different phases. And all of them, whether, are this weird kind of collective mental journey that, and in listening to it, I don't know that anybody listening to the words is going to quite get a clear picture, because there are things in there that means something very personal to me. That is, when I wrote it and when I say it, I know exactly what it means. and to you or him or whoever, it might not quite mean the same thing, which is good. That's how I wanted it to be. But, and then leading up to actually recording it, I was very sick. I had pneumonia, really bad. I think I went to the doctor that Monday. We recorded on Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to go in. We went in Friday, and I don't usually get real stressed out for recording. I don't know why. I just usually don't. I just try to go in there and do my thing, and if it's not good enough, do it again and try to make it, as good as you possibly can. But I was wetting it. I was super stressed out because there is no second try here. I'm leaving. This is it. And there's only 2 days to do it. So either you go in and you get it right in those 2 days, or it either doesn't get released or you have to live with something you're not proud of. And I was stressing out really, really bad. And then Friday, when we went in, they were like, well, why don't you, sing scratch tracks for us to kind of follow along so we, kind of keep everybody locked in. So
some of it was terrible.
Yeah, I couldn't sing a lick, man. Like, it was rough. Yeah. And this is the day before I'm supposed to sing the final vocal tracks for this album. And I was a mess, dude. Like, my head was all sorts of messed up. And then whenever we came back on Saturday, and it was time for me to actually go in and all right, we got to do the thing. Like, good, bad, whatever. I'm about to sing stuff, and it's about to go on a record. So I sat down and I thought about it, and I decided to start with Hesitate just because it seemed really fitting. And, man, I don't know what it was, but just as soon as everything started, I was just, once again, zoned off. I was off in Devon land, and I really didn't know what it sounded like until they started playing it back. And I was very, relief does not necessarily do justice to what I was feeling at the time. Because, you spend this money and you put in this time, and there's all this preparation that leads up to going into the studio. And like I said, this is it. Whatever this is what it's going to be. And I'm leaving, and it won't be any different until I get back and do another one. So I'm really, really relieved, and I'm proud of what we've done. I think it turned out.
I remember sitting in the booth, listening to him sing, because it was really, I hadn't really got to hear him sing yet. You know what I mean? It was all just loud monitor shit, this whole entire time. All right. And I was like, damn, this dude fucking singing. You know what I mean? It sounded pretty good, and I was like, and as I go back and listen to it so many times, I really didn't realize how many different changes he you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff, that's I didn't even know that shit was there.
Which shows you, maybe we should not have entrusted him to hire me if he didn't even know what I sounded like until everybody's like, sounds good.
It didn't matter when to find somebody.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But man, I think it's going to be a really cool deal. I mean, we're proud of it, so we want to put like you just said, put all we can into it. I'm not just going to pick one design. We're probably going to have different people make designs. It's going to be custom artwork to us. I'm actually looking at a guy. It's in Chesney.
Where?
Chesney.
You don't mean Chechnya, please.
Maybe.
Is it really Chechnya?
Yeah, maybe.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
I mean, that's where he's out of, but $120, he does great work.
Are we talking like Chechnya in the United States?
Well, I don't even know, dude.
Iowa. Is that what it is? Is
Probably.
Chechnya, Iowa?
I don't know.
Hey, man, I don't know. I'm going off you.
It just says Cheza or something. Chesney.
Cheza is not Chesney.
Well, whatever the hell it is, I can't think of what exactly it is, but
okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was just thinking.
I quit in the 9th grade.
Yeah,
truck driver.
Maybe you're thinking of Chelsea, Oklahoma.
Maybe.
That sounds more like. No, that sounds more likely than
overseas something deal.
Yeah,
because it's euros. But like 120 American.
How'd you find out about a guy from Chechnya?
The wonders of social media.
Well,
I really liked his art. He did, so I hit him up about it.
gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because I want it to look fucking badass. I don't want just me sitting behind the freaking deal. You know, me and Matt, like, we put together some cool stuff, but, you know, like, the Devil You Adore shit was like fucking, you know, a logo, and then if you use fade, there's like 3 or 4 different covers for it.
Yeah.
But it was all just like bold, you know what I mean? I want something fluent. I want shit hidden in there, you know. Something big, massive. In this color.
Like wood grain?
Well, just
He's
you see how,
talked
see
about
how the color looks?
He asked me, and I was like, well, I basically just had to say, I trust you, Travis. Because I don't know, like, the way he was describing it to me, I was like, man, I don't know if that really fits. But
I don't know,
by
man.
George, you...
Just the overall, if you're overall looking at a color scheme, you know, I think like a colors like this, neutral colors are really good on the eyes. Than having like a bunch of colors, you know, damn, man,
neon magenta sign. Looks like
it looks scary. Scary. Even though I got bright blue drums.
Like cover of Toontosh.
Any more questions before we keep on rolling down this rabbit hole? I don't know where
You can go down a rabbit hole.
It come out in 1958.
Yeah.
Now I was just gonna ask you. I mean, now that we're 6-8 months removed from it, are you happy with how the transition?
Oh yeah.
Names, band basically went and all that. And,
I think it went seamlessly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like it just went one and the same. It's like nothing never changed. You know what I mean? I think the only thing that did change is I feel like we got more compliments. You know what I mean? Like just like by the fan base. It's not everybody was trashing anything we did before, but it's just, you know, everybody's like, man, y'all sound so much more like a band. This is, you know, your style of music. This is what you needed, you know, to make it more complete. And which is, it's, you know, it's right. But I don't think nobody turned their back on us because we changed our name from The Devil You Adore, you know, to Claim Your Enemy. I think it gained us and a lot more. We're almost more mainstream now in certain parts.
Which, I mean, if you think about it, it is all or different, because music did kind of change a bit. Because the Devil You Adore stuff, because even like when I joined in, they had been together about 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So that was all the songs they had written, 3 years prior. Which I came in, learned that set. Then a couple weeks later, Devon had joined, and we had wrote the new set. So I mean, it did, like, even structure wise, you can tell kind of the difference.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes back to the mirrors thing, because some of the songs are mirrors of The Devil You Adore. So that's why it kind of fits, and calling the album Mirrors.
yeah.
The thing with
that was part of our thinking.
The thing with Mirrors, for me, when we had talked about it, is because all of the songs, for me, stretch across these, I'm only 25. So in the time that I've been writing songs, all of, this collection of songs stretches across the entirety of my, musical career, so to speak. And, with the Mirrors idea, it's like, imagine if you took 5 years and every single week or every single month you took a picture of yourself in the mirror. You're capturing yourself at a different time and a different place throughout the entirety of all of this. And all of the different things, not just for me, but for people in general. Or all of the different things that are either positive or negative in your life that you see in yourself throughout, any phase, whatever you're going through. You've got your typical responses like addiction or whatever the case may be. But I'm just talking for each and every person. You've got things that, moments and phases that were beautiful in your life, and you've got moments and phases that were tragic in your life. And I feel like being able to look at yourself in the mirror and see what other people see at those different times kind of gives you a window or an idea as to where you're at, where you're going to be, and where you have been. And that's, I mean, it's not really a concept album. It just so happened that this is the way that it worked out.
It kind of turned out like one in a certain sense. It did. I mean, it's kind of weird. We kind of all talked about, like, that's why we talked about splitting it up in the A's and B's, you know, or Act 1, Act 2, whatever, how we decided to do it, you know. Put it 2 different parts. Because it is 2 different parts. If it makes sense. Like the first, say, 4 songs or this and this. Because it's weird once we listen to it and stuff and go back and, you know, and reading the lyrics with him and figuring out exactly what shows, or, you know, because I think he's saying this live, and then when I actually go back and hear him, like, oh, he ain't even saying that at all.
Which that might be a bad thing.
Yeah,
maybe that's what
I thought he said walking zombies forever.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm talking about shitting, and I say shedding in one song. And he's like, man, this whole time I thought you were saying shitting. I'm like, what are you talking? I wonder if everybody thinks I'm saying that. This might not be good at all. I'm going to have to work on my...
Yeah, but I knew that. I was just
I'm going to have to work on my diction.
I was just sitting there playing like, these lyrics got weird.
I'm not supposed to talk about that. So.
No. Not at all.
Well, you and Brian have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, years and years.
Yeah, way back. So, being with these 2 guys relatively for less than a year, basically.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel with where you guys are at musically compared to where you have been in the past?
Me and Brian as brothers?
Yeah.
In band, in our musical journey?
Yeah, and what it's at now.
It's way when we started out and we was doing like the Pain Ensemble deals back in the day. The Pain Ensemble was like Black Sabbath meets Slayer. You know what I mean? It was heavy stuff. You know, had like Pantera style vocals and stuff, and we did that. But me and Brian was always trying to put like a little bit of modernized stuff on it. That was at the time, you know. But the other players, they were all like underground death metal from Norwegia that you'd never heard before. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm so glad you said Norwegia.
I was gonna say something. I was like, no,
maybe that's really close to Chestnut. Everywhere these places. What is that?
Oh wow, Norway.
Norwegian. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're trying to
it was
say
all Norwegian music, but Norway.
No, it's from fucking Norwegia. That's from now on.
That's sweet. But anyways,
I had a guy who lived with me for a couple of years from Norway, and I'm going to message him.
Sweet. I never classed again. I quit in the 9th grade to become a truck driver.
Norwegia. Oh man.
But man, like, you know, so when we started this deal, we wanted something totally different. That's when we got a chick singer, you know. So, and then that really didn't work out. And then to bring us where we are now, I think we finally reached that more modern sound with the old school sound on it. It feels like it's all come full circle and complete. So I feel like me and him's talked about it just on our hour-long freaking phone calls of just like, you know, it's all went to where we're at now is where we were always trying to be, you know, but couldn't never really get there because of just, I don't know, maybe fates or limitations or whatever, but it never worked out. So now it's like we feel like we're in a complete band because, you know, and everybody's so different, you know, but it's like it's complete. And he's like off on his music that, you know, and Brian's and his and Rhett's stuck in the 90s and old country and stuff like that, and this guy likes MC Hammer. And,
so does
and I'm thrash.
Do you think all that different shit comes together into something that
something modernized?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, and
it's weird how it happens, but
for all of our differences, there's some common veins there, and I think Claim Your Enemy's music kind of meets in that common vein that all of us share.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, we covered that Deftones tune. And
I'm not even a Deftones fan.
I know.
Yeah, I had never heard the song.
So I guess that's
the song forward. I was like, how's that go?
But
I was like, how about we play this?
That's
So I
exactly.
went outside, looked
Thank
it
you
up
for
on
saying that,
YouTube,
'cause
and listened to
you're-
it real quick. And I was like, all right, I'm good.
you're making my point is that even though like that song wasn't, he hadn't listened to it, but it covers some similar veins as to the styles that we all like to listen to, and as far as writing and becoming a band and trying to mold your sound, that's kind of what has happened with Claim Your Enemy, because in other bands I've been in, and you've been in bands, and they've been in other bands. Well, this is his first go around, but he's been in other bands, and it always seems like you have one or two people at different times that are kind of like you're not on the same page. There's something else going on here. Like maybe 3 out of the 5 members are like, we want to write like Lamb of God, and then the other 2 are like, no, I want to play Taylor Swift shit, and like. That seems to be, like, maybe not quite that much of an extreme, but that seems to be previously, like, this constant reoccurring thing is finding a way to bring everybody back to a common place. Mm-hmm. And with Claim Your Enemy, for the first time since I've been in bands, it seems like everyone is on the same page as far as, like, I don't have to worry about Brian going off and coming back with a riff that makes me feel like I need to sing, like some random obscure Faith No More, which I would be fine with. But you get what I mean, as opposed to more of the kind of hard rock bridging metal stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be something you can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to be chuggy.
Yeah, every time. And there's going to be room to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that's one of my crutches, because I've in the past I've always played with him. I think we had talked about it before. Is like your Metallica fans and your Slayer fans and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I have nothing against it. I like some Slayer. I like some Metallica. However, it is really difficult for me, not impossible, but very difficult for me to write to a song like that and not feel like I need to scream my head off the entire time. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to do that all the time. Yeah. And one of my favorite things about how these guys write is that there's room. If I want to scream, I can put a scream there. Works out fine. If I'd rather sing, I can sing there. Works out fine. If I want to sing something a little choppier, I can. If I want to sing something that's a little more held out, I can. And there's a lot more room to do something, as opposed to feeling like you're forced into, well, I got to do this or nothing.
Yeah.
Everything's good except for he's leaving.
Yeah.
Let's remind them.
Travis is on this kick, and he has been for several months. It's all you would think that I was not aware that I was leaving for the military. You'd think I just forgot. Like, oh yeah, thank you for reminding me, Travis. I appreciate it. I didn't know.
Talking about being cold out there a while ago. I'm like, hell, you just wait.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be really cold out there about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Now my girlfriend freaked me out because the other day she was looking at the forecast for where she lives, and she was telling me, because it was like 23, 22, blah blah blah. I was like, well, why don't you look up the forecast for Fort Leonard Wood? And she was like, oh geez. I was like, what? She goes, I don't know if I want to tell you. I was like, well, what the hell's it gonna be? She's like, I see a lot of zeros. Wow. You gotta be shitting me. She was. It's gonna be in the teens. That's gonna suck.
You got this.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna die. All right.
That's right.
You'll be better.
I mean,
it's gonna suck not to have no black menthols for a while.
Yeah, that's kind of like my one thing. I don't know, because it seems really dumb. Because I have already given up on the fact that I'm going to quit smoking. Because but up to this point I have. Because I'm the type of person that I have extremely strong will, and I'm very headstrong when it's something I want to do. If I want to do it, I will make it work come hell or high water. That's just how it's going to be. But when I don't want to do it, oh man, it's like I'm trying to dig myself out of sand or something.
Yeah.
And smoking, I enjoy smoking. I have enjoyed it since the day I started. I am an anxious person. I am anxiety ridden. I have been anxiety ridden my entire life. Like, I mean, going to a show sometimes, and like I love talking to people. I love meeting people. I love learning about people and what's going on in their life and how they feel about things, and I love that. But if you get like 3 or 4 people around you and you start talking, and you notice it happens all the time, everybody starts talking about the same thing, right? Like us right now. We're all talking about the same thing. But it can very easily digress. So now you're having a conversation with him, and he's having a completely different conversation with you. And I was trying to have a conversation with you, but now you're talking to him, and it just gets, and my anxiety goes through the roof, man. I can't do it. I've got to.
What story? What story?
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? What's going on? I'm just standing here like a bump on a log, and like I've got to excuse myself, and I do it all the time. And I feel bad because like they're awesome people, and you know, that's the other thing. Like, I don't like using the word fan because this is just the honest fact. We are not nearly big enough or nearly popular enough to have fans. we really, I mean, it's just the fact. Yeah. We really don't. We have people who enjoy our music who we've made friends with. And we are lucky enough to have a large number, you know, of, if you consider them friends. We have a lot of friends. And it makes me feel bad because I'm sitting here trying to talk to my friend who has come here, you know, to support us and support our band and whatever. And
but like, they also like to.
I got to back off and go smoke a cigarette before I have a panic attack because I just can't. Yeah. My brain is too.
I don't know. Like the fan thing. I consider it fans. I mean, I consider them fans. I mean, because I was a fan. I'm a fan.
Wait,
I'm a fan of Thunder Underground. I'm a fan of Kicks.
What'd you say?
I said, wait, do our moms count?
Oh.
That does not count.
We do not. My mom was never a fan of anything I did.
My mom, to her credit, I will say that my mom is very supportive. Sure. Like, there's that's most great. Of my family, like, okay, and they might listen to this later and call me and be like, I've supported you, but like, for the most part, most of my family looks at music as like, it's this thing he's doing, you know, and maybe, you know, maybe he'll do it.
You were ready.
I was ready to hear hobby. I'm like, people talk about music.
That's exactly right. But I think, and I've tried really hard to explain this, like, because some of my family understand, and I've got other parts of my family that have done it before, and I think that their reservations come from their experiences. You know, it doesn't really have anything to do with me. Yes. But it's the whole, like, and that's exactly what it is. But I think for someone who lives and breathes it, like in any capacity, like whether you're just such a fan of music that you can't go a day without listening to music. You can't sit in silence. Like me, I can't handle silence, period. Like, listen to Sweet Silence. I talk about it for a while. Like, I just can't. I have a serious issue with silence. And you know, maybe it's because I'm an anxious wreck. I don't know. But
it's because you're going to the garden.
Yeah, haha. But that's exactly it. Is it's not something I do just because it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's not something I do just because, you know, people enjoy it. But I do it because it's the difference between, you know, sanity and lack of sanity.
His mom did buy him, your nephew, a Rocklahoma ticket just to come and see us on the Dark Side stage.
My mom, that's what I was trying to get to. My mom, she's been supportive the entire time.
Did they stay the day of the show?
Like water and like stuff to drink and eat.
My mom is a great lady, and
she's a sweet lady.
I am not the greatest son in the world. Like, just being real, like, I'm just not, and I try to be, I'm just not very good at it, because I'm very, like, I don't know, my mind is just all over the place, so I don't always think about things the way that I should, but she's amazing. She's been through a lot. She's the strongest woman I've ever met, and she, as far as being supportive, you know, she could spend every day, all day long telling me I'm wasting my time, you know, and she doesn't. Yeah. You know, she supports. It's like being here tonight. I mean, I'm about to be gone for months, and I just got back into town from seeing my girlfriend, and here I'm spending a night not hanging out with her. Yeah. And she didn't say anything. It's just like, oh, it's a podcast for music. Yeah, go. You know, and
That's awesome.
She's very very supportive.
By the way.
Yes.
So I think winding down, we had a couple more. Well, I did just because I like these kind of generic questions.
Yes.
End of the year. What did you guys listen to this year that really got you all going?
You guys will appreciate this. So, on multiple podcasts that you guys have listened to, and I think we talked about it a little bit last time we were here, is Sons of Texas.
Yes.
And I'd heard them, and I think when we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, I've heard them, and I'm not really sure. And Jet Yancey, he's a big Sons of Texas fan, so is my girlfriend, and I went with him to see them in I don't even remember where that was at.
Fayetteville, wasn't it?
I think so. Yes, we went to see them in Fayetteville, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, and I don't care who likes it. They kicked All That Remains ass, straight up. I mean,
hell yeah,
straight up.
I get behind that all
we
day long.
We didn't even finish All That Remains set. Now, for anybody who likes All That Remains, I'm not hating really.
I used to like them.
I'm not a huge fan. I liked their first couple albums.
It's gonna have both of weird.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong and someone knows, they can correct me and I will accept it and go on about my life. But I could have swore they committed the cardinal sin for me. And that is backing tracks for the vocals. Like, to the point where it was very obvious to me that this man is not singing. And they're playing it through. And I know a lot of bands do it, and there's probably bands I like that do it that I just don't know they do it. But
when we saw him open for Alter Bridge, he leaned over to me and he's like, "He's got backing tracks."
yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I was like, is it backing tracks or is his voice fucked up?
No,
what's
you
going
and
on
I
here?
you and I heard the same
I'm
thing.
thinking there's backing tracks.
You and I heard the same thing.
And it's something that, like, yeah, in one hand, you know, on one side, that's fucked. But on another end, a lot of bands do it.
For some people, and
it's like, you know, a lot, you know, it's like we had...
He doesn't need it as the thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like
He's good enough
that guy has sang for, he's filled in for Killswitch Engage. He's filled in, he used to be in Shadows Fall.
Yep.
I mean, that guy can sing anything.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't know, you know, but like, you know, we talked to Scott and Jana from Rocket Science a few weeks ago, or a month ago or whatever, and they have backing tracks, but that's a different kind of thing, so I get it. So, yeah, I don't know, but it was, yeah, I know, I'm just saying I noticed it, so yeah.
For some people, maybe it adds to the show. Maybe it's, you know, makes it better, and that for them, that's great. For me personally, I can't stand it.
I think it's only acceptable at the first of Iron Maiden's If Eternity Should Fail. It's just me.
But the main thing is we're getting away from Sons of Texas. Come back to that.
Yes.
Because I fucking love that band.
Sorry. So, yes, after we talked about it, and I've heard you guys talk about it, and I have heard their stuff.
Love them.
I finally, I was like, well, I need to just listen to them. Like, because I have, but I haven't listened. Mm-hmm. And that they're one of the bands that I've really gotten into the past year. Feed the Rhino, they're pretty new, I think, and I've been listening to them. I really dig them. I'm The Plot and You. I've been listening to them some, and I'm not a fan of all of their stuff, but that guy, Landon Towers or something like that. That dude's ridiculously talented.
I'm really liking the new 10 Years album.
10 Years. I was about to say them too.
I mean, just being kind of out of my realm, which I also think the new Willie Nelson album is like one of the best fucking albums last year.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's just, I don't know, it's a great album.
Yeah.
All the way through. And, man, there's so freaking many of them, dude.
There's
It's
just
hard.
a lot.
It's just, that's why, it's kind of like goes back to what we was talking about earlier. You know, there's just so much music out there, it's hard to freaking listen to it all. And I do like the Sons of Texas. I was going to say Anarchy, but So the Texas is badass album.
Have you guys ever heard of Throwdown?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's actually probably so far that I can think of. That's probably Deathless. It's not new. It's not new. It's just I haven't listened to it before this year. It's called Deathless. You said I think it said 2007.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. And like I really like that album.
Nice.
Because previously, like Vendetta and stuff like that, like they've been songs I liked, but like I didn't necessarily get into the whole album. And Deathless, I think, is awesome. I
did listen to the new Rancid today because
Hell
you put that on there earlier.
Yes.
I was looking for something different to listen to this morning while I was washing dishes.
My job is done.
So I thought, I ain't heard that album yet. So you said you was working out with it, and I feel like I was working dishes.
So good. I've loved them since I was a teenager, but they can't fuck up.
Have you guys? I think I saw a post about it. Did you guys do your favorite albums of the year?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
that
what
was
I
the most
thought.
recent.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't listen to it yet, but I've got it.
I'm behind on that one too. I got to listen.
Screenshotted it. That was all I remember.
Yeah.
So what was personally? What was yours and your favorite album of the year?
Well, this year, every year, we both just make our list and we put it together.
Kind of combine it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I
this
was
is the
asking.
first. This is the first year that our top 4, top 5. I think it was top 5, and maybe just switched order. Was all the same exact albums. Usually, there's always 2 or 3 that are mixed up.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had Life of Agony was number 1 unanimously.
Yeah, that's a great album too.
I think you can't get better than that album, and because one, they took everything they've ever did since '93 and put it together. But 2, they did it in such a way where it was something new and fresh. And it was just eargasms all the way around.
That was, I can't even remember what really all come out this year.
Yeah, that's another thing too is,
did you listen to Iced Earth? Because I figured you would like that.
I have listened to Iced Earth before, but I haven't heard the new one.
And that's the thing. It's I can't, I'm telling him, I can't even remember what all the fuck came out. He's like, well, I had a master list.
Yeah, I made a list of
making it
70 albums.
I just
holy
did
fuck,
research
and wrote down everything.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's in my head, I had a top 5 or 6 that I've listened to all year.
I still feel like
that I knew. And then his list was oh, here's some others that I liked that I forgot about. And I just kind of went from there. But
I feel like Hardwired was released this year.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
And see, that's the thing. It's and I told him, it's you feel like that was, and I was I think, wasn't Crowbar released this year? It's no, Crowbar's last year. It's fuck.
Yeah.
You feel like all this shit was, anyways, it was just, such a list, such a thing to sift through. So, yeah.
I thought about it. And the one that always keeps coming to mind is the Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just come across it one day.
And that's a great.
And I just listened to it so many times. Just overthrew it. And maybe it's just because. Maybe because I'm like Willie, just smoke one and freaking listen to Willie Nelson.
They
ain't doing nobody no harm.
No.
Just enjoying the new record the right way.
Yeah.
It's been a while though, and we talked about this exact same thing last time. It's hard. It's been so long since I've heard about an album, was super stoked about the album, went and got the album, and then was just blown away by the album.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just me, kind of what we were talking about, being oversaturated with music, or me being a stickler of some kind that I'm just not aware of, or what the case may be. But the last album I remember just being holy shit, was Wrath by Lamb of God.
Yeah.
When that came out, the day it came out, went to Hastings and Muskogee, bought it, put it in my truck, and just couldn't get... I drove around for an hour longer than I needed to be driving around just to jam out.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that.
The last album I was really excited about was Nouveau Beat.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It's not even new no more.
I was pretty stoked about the Motogrator album.
Yes.
I think that was this year, wasn't it?
The Motogrator?
I think so.
Yeah, they come out in August.
Yeah.
That was a great album.
You guys played with them, right?
Yeah. And that's why I was... And maybe I'm a little bit biased because I was such a fan of the original Motogrator with Ivan, which we did, we've talked about before.
Oh, yeah.
And so for them to come back and then release another album and for me to enjoy it all, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy it as much, but almost as much. Made me very, very, very happy. And playing with him was amazing.
Yeah, see, that was another thing we've accomplished since the last time we was here.
What was the name of that?
It was
an Oakland
Thunder Alley?
Yeah. So I remember before, when we was all getting ready, beforehand, we was sitting outside, because I remember they were smoking cigarettes outside. And we sat out there, and they had pulled up in their van, it's getting the body paint.
Yeah.
I did ask them if
we
they'd
was
let
out
me
there
paint up with
hanging
them.
out them. That was pretty cool.
I did, because I don't remember if it was when we were sitting here, but I've always said if I ever had an opportunity to play with Motogrator, I would ask them if they'd let me paint up to play, either with them for a song or whatever. Well, I did, and they said no.
Were they at least nice about it?
Well, yeah, and
They were really cool dudes.
Well, they were cool, man. They were really cool guys. And what he said was, and I totally get it, he's like, for us, it's like you wear this when you've earned the right to wear it. Like, for us, it's like it's a brotherly, tribal thing,
Okay,
And I'm like, you know what? I can get behind that, You don't know me from Adam, don't, and I'm...
Yeah.
So, but I did ask. I did have the guts to ask.
I would have liked to have been able to go ahead and do the soil show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Once
That
again...
was with Flaw, too.
Yeah.
Once
A year ago.
again,
Yeah.
this happens to me twice.
Yeah.
Get the chance to play with Flaw, and both times. We've had bad luck with that, actually. That's another good
What
thing.
happened the first time?
The first time, that was with King High. That's the show that killed King High. Because majority of the band was willing to do it, and one person said no, not doing it. Yeah.
Was that in Tulsa or Oklahoma City?
Yeah, it was at the Shrine.
Or the
It
Shrine,
was?
yeah.
Yeah, I went to that. I went to the show.
The day you come out there,
Yeah,
our first day.
yeah. That's
So you got the gig with us, and then went to the Flaw show.
Yep, that's exactly what
Wow.
happened. Well, and here's the thing: is like, I'm gonna regret saying this at some
No, I
point,
mean,
but-
I didn't mean to bring up a story. I
No,
was
it's
asking.
okay. Well, then I'm not even gonna. But
No, it's
yeah,
all good.
Yeah. So basically, the first time was with King High, and some people didn't want to do it, and their person and whatever, and they had their reasons, and there was that was following multiple times of the same thing, which some of them were understandable, some of them didn't make sense, whatever the case. So the first Flaw show, that's basically the show that killed King High. And then this one, Soil canceled their tour, right? Yeah. So this one, Soil canceled their tour.
Wow.
So we've had a little bit of bad luck too. Like it's been mainly a good year.
And see, we that
Adrenaline
morning,
Mob.
Yeah, when Adrenaline Mob, the day they had the wreck,
Shit, that's right.
7
I forgot
o'clock that
about that.
morning,
So
we
we
got offered the gig. It was like,
We play with Motogrator. Got to meet, which for meeting them for me was just like, yes, because they're one of my favorites.
the very next day.
And then that night, we get offered.
Yeah.
That very night, after we get done playing, we get offered the Adrenaline Mob show. That morning is when the accident happened.
Oh,
So it's horrible for reasons way beyond us
Oh,
getting to play with
definitely,
Adrenaline. I mean
definitely.
that's not even the most.
But it
of
sucked
our
as
concern.
fans and a
Yes.
band wanting to open
Yes.
for them.
Yeah.
have you seen that guy's new fucking band, the Mike Orlando guy?
Is he already back to playing and stuff?
He's got a new band with the guy from Disturbed and
Morton.
and the fuckhead that was in
What's his name?
Rockstar Supernova, Lucas Rossi or whatever.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
hated that guy.
yeah, I know, and it's
So he
this total,
destroyed
it's this total like fuckhead diet fucking radio rock shit. But
Oh, man.
but then when Mike Orlando takes a solo, it's amazing because that guy's insane.
Right.
So and I was just, it popped up on my feed one day, and I was like, well, I don't really wanna, but I gotta fucking watch this shit. And it's just, it's
Has to be
fuckhead
done.
octane bullshit. But then when he does a solo, it's amazing because that guy can solo his fucking ass off.
Sweet.
So is Adrenaline Mob officially just on
I have
hiatus?
no
They haven't
idea.
really said
I have no
anything.
clue.
I haven't heard.
Well, because
I mean, obviously they're
Russell
on hiatus.
Allen does fucking TSO, So, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Moyer, John Moyer.
Yeah,
right.
John Moyer. That's the Disturbed guy, yeah.
Yeah, the bass
So,
player.
who knows? I don't know.
But it would have been a very badass show.
Yeah.
Yes, and
I was looking
and
forward to that because I've never
Yeah.
seen
it was going to be great, and that was such a goddamn shame that happened.
It could mean
And
we
then
have been offered
the tour
to
manager, girl
Oklahoma
that like
City
hung
and
on for like a
Tulsa. That was
month in the hospital.
we couldn't sell any tickets.
And
you
then
know,
she
I
died.
could take the chance of selling
Yeah.
Tulsa. You know what I mean? Rely on maybe because you got to sell some damn tickets. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tickets you got to sell, just like a
Yeah.
full show.
Yeah.
40 tickets. You know what I mean? That's a lot. That's a lot of band.
I mean, at this
it
point,
basically costs you to play with the.
if I was
definitely.
capable to play all the shows that have been offered,
and then there being no show, and we're just like,
if I could have played all the shows that I've been offered, like since King High and this band, it would have been like Avatar, love Avatar, Soil,
Yep.
Flaw twice, and Saliva, which I haven't listened to them much since they got the other singer, but those
because
are
he's generic as fuck.
that's what I've heard. I'm not gonna lie. I've got a friend of mine that like we both kind of like Saliva. So.
Josie's going to be on the podcast, damn it.
I like Josie, man.
Just kidding, sorry.
No, I mean, hey,
I thought you was bringing West
He
Borland.
might be, though. We don't know. Anyways.
We're
Thanks,
working
Larry.
on it. West Borland, what?
Is that who you bringing on?
what?
To what?
It's a podcast.
Oh, if we can pull it off.
Yeah, I was like,
Wes
you guys are
Borland, he just did a thing with Child Bite.
Did he really?
Seriously?
I'm not fucking kidding you.
That's weird as fuck.
Yep.
Wow.
Child bite? Like he
Yeah.
like got on stage or like did a
No,
song,
like they
or-
did a song together. Because
Wow.
Child Bite fucking rules.
Well, yeah, but that's just pretty random for them to get West Borland.
Yeah, well, Google it. I'm not shit.
It's kind of random for me to say that too.
Yeah.
Another random thought is, I think that what's his name, Vito Britta, is a very underrated guitar player.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's done with music.
Is he?
Totally.
That sucks.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
I always
Yeah,
wondered what happened to him.
because
One day he'll come back.
well, Eddie Trunk on the Eddie Trunk show, he always, because I guess, well, still, yeah, he gets a question, somebody calls in every couple weeks, hey, what's going on with Vito Bratta? And he's like, I don't know how many fucking times I have to tell you people this.
Don't play.
He's done. He's told me he's done. He doesn't want anything to do with the music business. He lives in obscurity and he loves it, and he is not going to come back. And I get asked about him like every 2
But wasn't he
weeks.
such a great guitar player?
He was. He
So
was
is
fucking great.
that what they say the reason is? He didn't like people
He's-
all up in his business?
He just hates.
He
the
probably
music
just made his
business.
money and went home.
Yeah, he hates the music business.
Because they were
Kinda
pretty
like-
popular, man, in the freaking
Kinda like,
86.
Kind of like Jason
Pride
Newsted
and
from
Big
Metallica.
Cow and stuff
He's
like that.
Yeah, this sucks. I'm gonna,
Well, every time one of those
you know.
hair band or those ballad CDs
Yeah.
comes out, compilations, they're on it. So it's
Yeah,
like he's still
living off
making money.
royalties. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? I wonder how
When the
many
children
bands.
Yeah.
I wonder how many bands that happens to. You do this thing that you love, and you
Skid Row.
finally get to the pinnacle
Yeah.
of this thing that you love, and you've reached the golden spot you've stared at since you were a little boy, and it fucking blows. Like, could you
Well,
imagine?
It makes you wonder because, like I said a minute ago, it's like Jason Newsted. He's even said,
Yeah.
"I don't have to work the rest of my life."
Right.
I mean, and he hasn't been in Metallica for like, what, 14, 15 years?
Yeah.
And he's like, I could just sit around the rest of my life. So, what is the motivation? I wouldn't do anything either.
Yeah.
I'd go find a tropical island somewhere.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
he put out a great album too, and then it's just like toured on it for a couple months.
Yeah.
And like, fuck it, and
Yeah,
disappeared again.
exactly. Because he was like, wow, the whole business model of music has changed and this sucks. Oh, yeah, I'm a billionaire because I don't have to do anything. Fuck this, I'm out of here.
why wouldn't you do that? Like, I mean, I think that's one
He quit
thing.
Metallica.
Yeah, like I want at some point
First
I
number
want
ever.
to experience, touring at a certain capacity and that kind of thing and whatever, but like I could see like if you've done it for X number of years, even if it's 10 years. That's 10 years. You've done it for 10 years. And if you have enough money to stop doing it, and the other option is what? Get yourself in another contract you can't get out of?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Well, yeah, exactly. He played on Enter Sandman. He didn't even write it. He just played on it, and he's good.
Yeah.
Well, even just the 2 songs he did write, royalties off of 2 songs would probably last you for a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
And he probably gets
a
tiny bit off all the other stuff.
That's Blackened and Where the Wild Things Are.
I thought it was My Friend in Misery.
And he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But speaking of Newstead though, on the remaster, the audition tapes of Newstead
Awesome.
are fucking badass.
Yes, they're great.
I would listen. What the fuck?
I've got them back there. They're awesome.
Dude.
They are awesome.
I just listen to them on Spotify because I ain't got no big fancy record set. It's like another old boy in there. But I listened to it. It was freaking. That was like the best Metallica album I'd heard in a long time. Was them demo tapes.
Really?
Our audition tapes. I thought. It's
I
pretty
can't
good.
wait to hear. Well, you know how they've remastered the first 3 albums.
Justice.
So when they remaster Justice,
I'm ready.
are they going to turn the bass up? What everybody hopes?
It'd be nice.
We'll find out.
I think they're going to put a little more bottom end on it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to. But I don't think they're going to put much.
Yeah. What's the point of remastering if you don't do that? But
Exactly.
I guess at the same time, it might change the sound too much. So maybe
Did they
you don't
remaster Kill 'Em All?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're up to next one
Damn
on the
it!
list.
They
is-
should have called it "Metal Up Your Ass." They, just kind of like a.
Yeah, but still, it's labeled as Kill 'Em All.
I know, but
It's the album.
people would have got it, and it would have been hilarious.
There actually was a Metal Up Your Ass. Wasn't
No,
it?
that's what they were going to call it.
Yeah, but I think there was actually limited numbers.
Okay, there might have been.
Like they released
It's
like
a
an,
that-
really
That's
rare.
beyond my knowledge. Of
It's really
Metallica.
rare.
like an EP thing.
Oh. I mean, don't get me confused. I'm using secondhand knowledge here. I'm just.
But speaking, the Hardwired is like a great fucking song. That's like the best song they come out with in a long time.
Yeah.
That song, I mean, just like every time I hear it, I can't keep from freaking just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to move. It's just the drums in it are freaking badass.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it. It was a great song.
Yeah, the first few songs on that album sound like
Yeah.
old school Metallica.
It's I listened to it the first time it came out, and then I was just like, it's all right, whatever, and then I recently just got it again and listened to it again, but this time on CD, and just played the first album CD a couple times through, and then the second one a few times through. And
Did you guys
it's
see?
pretty good. It really is.
This just hit my mind, so I meant to ask you guys about it. Did you guys see the video of Miles Kennedy playing "Watch Over You" with those homeless people that were sitting on the side of the street?
No.
It was awesome. There's like these. I say they're homeless. The thing I read said they were homeless. I don't know if they were homeless or not, but what it said is that because he was dressed up like he didn't want people to recognize him, and he was walking along, and these people were playing music for money, and so he got up there, got one of their guitars, and played "Watch Over You," him and the acoustic guitar, to raise money for these guys on the side of the street. I thought that was awesome.
Wow.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know where that was at, but it was just hitting my mind. I was curious if you guys saw it.
Mm-mm.
To look that up.
Yeah, I love Miles, man.
Have you heard that solo song?
No, I mean, I know about it.
Yeah.
I just haven't
I
listened
didn't
to it
listen
yet.
to it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me about it yesterday. I mean, I'm very disconnected. I miss things all the time. That's why I'm still listening to music that happened in like 2002. It's because I missed it back in 2002. So
Yeah, I listen to a lot of old stuff. I can't help it. I try
know.
to keep up with new stuff.
I know.
But I
It's
fall
like,
right
I
back
know.
into
I
the
know.
60s and 70s
Every-
and 80s.
Every single car ride involves me going, "Hey man, let me play a song," and him going, "But I need to listen to my daily playlist." I'm like, "What does that mean? You got to listen to it every day, all day?" Yes.
Yeah,
So,
because
like-
it exposes me to so much music I ain't heard in a long time. But even though it mostly generates
Yeah.
toward the 80s and 70s.
He'll play 5 songs. I want to play 1 song, and he'll let me play it, but it's coming with bitching. Like,
Man, I gotta,
it's like, oh, I got to get off my daily playlist.
Meanwhile, I'm just in the driver's seat, like, I hope one of this.
Cause I use it as a surprise. Like I don't know what the next song's gonna be. So
I do.
So I'm like,
80s.
well,
I can tell you right off the bat.
That's awesome. I do 80s.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
We talking or something.
That's what I mean. Like I can't really hate on the '80s. It's just not me. It's not what I listen to. I like some songs. Like what was that song we listened to? No More Tears. That one, the Ozzy song. I really like.
That's like
I know. It's the sound. It's the sound, not when it came out.
He did that shit during grunge.
I'm talking about the sound of it. Nobody jump all over me here. But like I like those kind of things.
Watch out, we'll be all over.
I know.
So when the Dios come on, you know that they're all 80s.
Yeah.
Yes, and
There's
that
always a lot of Dio pops up.
the Dio. I
then
like
here comes
Dio.
the Jackal.
I like some of his
Rock
stuff.
and roll children. We're gonna listen to
Like a
that.
rainbow in the dark. But yes, there are some things I like. But eventually, 4 or 5 songs in, I need to hear something.
Weren't you
else.
telling me a while back, maybe was it that last show of yours or something, that you started listening to Warrant because we were always talking about
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I really like that new album.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
That's another new one this year.
Yeah.
That's good.
That was like number 7 or 8 on our list.
Mhm.
I haven't.
I did look at your list.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten
them
deep
on
enough into the Warrant listening to like sit down and have a serious conversation about it. But I have been listening to it.
I've been listening to actually Doggy Dog. I listened to it 3 times earlier this week.
That's all you need. That'll set your life right. Okay.
But you know what kind of aggravates me though? So in between Inside Out and Sad Teresa on the CD or the cassette, there's always this blank spot.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it's like bam.
There's
Sad
like that.
Teresa.
There's like
It was
that
like a
secret
scared,
track
yeah,
thing
it scared
that they
you.
used to do.
That snare coming there. First I heard it, it's like, bam, Sad, you know. I'm like, so now like on Spotify or whatever, it's like take shot to it. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh man,
Don't get me
I like
going. I'll
waiting.
sing the whole
I-
thing.
Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I haven't listened to enough to have a serious conversation about it, but
But Inside Out is a freaking metal song.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
But I
It's a
have-
straight up metal.
I
song.
have
We-
been digging it.
We saw them on that tour at the Pavilion in Tulsa, and they did Balls of the Wall by Accept.
Sweet. I would have loved to have seen that tour. I seen them on the Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour.
Yes, we did. Yeah, that was my first concert ever.
Seen them
Oh
at
my
Fort
God.
Smith. That come to Tulsa too, didn't it?
Yeah, Tulsa.
Tulsa the next night.
Yeah.
I seen the Fort Smith one of it.
That was you should.
That was great.
Hell
I
yeah!
still got my Blood, Sweat, and Beers shirt. The black one with the chick holding the beer.
I had the one that had the skull on the front. Said, "This is your brain." What did it say?
Forgot about that.
It's like, "This is your brain on something, rock and roll or whatever." And the back was like, "This is your brain on a warrant," and the skull's all exploded in blood and shit.
You remember the old poison
And of
one?
course, like, it disappeared like a week later because I'm sure my mom hated it. Same thing with the Metallica, the old man, the Inner Sandman.
Oh, your mom did that too?
Oh,
Like,
fuck.
My mom never
I'm
got
not
rid
alone,
of.
thank God.
My mom never got rid of shirts that I know of because, like, oh, I don't like what's on that. But like, I had some shirts that I had worn for so long that, like, underneath the seams and everything had ripped a little bit, but they're comfortable.
Oh, no.
They're awesome shirts and they're comfortable. And I'm pretty sure,
I'm still
and Mom,
mad.
when you listen to this, I'm calling you out. I'm pretty sure my mom is the reason I don't have those. I had this one. It was a Harley Davidson shirt that my biological mom had given me while she was in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yeah.
And it's black and it said Harley Davidson, and then some of it was in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
And it was really cool and super comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she threw it away. I'm not very happy about it.
Well-
Well, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, so I'm holding a grudge. But
I have a story.
I'm ready.
My mom, let me rest her soul. She, like, I had that from the Metallica show in 92 at the Pavilion. Or 91, 92? January 92. It had the old man from the Inner Sandman video, like, huge on the shirt. And she hated it. She's like, "Oh, that's so ugly. Why'd you get that shirt? Oh, my God." So anyways, like, a few weeks later, it's just gone. It's gone.
No.
And I'm like, "Mom, what happened on?" "Oh, I don't know, honey. I have no idea." It's like, I know she threw it away.
You know which shirt I picked?
So hold
Sorry.
on.
Don't
But
interrupt.
man, that takes it back.
Where's your
And-
table manners?
And the same thing with the Warrant shirt with the exploding skull, right? But then, like, as years went on, she got cool with it. So then, like, she took all my old shirts and she made a quilt out of them. Like, all my Black Sabbath and Motley Crue and Nixon's. She even made one for him. But, damn it, would I love to have that Metallica shirt.
So that's
back.
what it didn't pop back up? I figured that's what the story was
she got
for.
rid of it.
Yeah.
She totally,
no.
I know she did.
So I got
God rest her soul.
I got you beat, and I'll keep it. So, man, my mom was going to kill me. All right, so my mom, God bless her, used to be just a little bit insane about, like, certain religious things. Like, she's not anymore.
Yeah.
She's way better, but
Yeah.
I remember being, like, 7, 8 years old, and she was psycho about some stuff. So, I used to be really, really, really into Pokemon. So, like, I had tons of Pokemon cards. I collected them and battled people with it, all this different shit.
Yeah.
So, we used to go, I was like 7 or 8 years old. We used to go to this church in Tulsa called Higher Dimensions, which is where Carlton Pearson preached.
Yes, Carlton Pearson.
So, Carlton Pearson.
I played a show there. That's a whole
Did you really? So, Carlton Pearson, and I knew as soon as it, like, so I'm sitting here as a little boy, and I'm listening to the sermon, and he's talking about, he pulls out a Pokemon book, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh no, this is never good. Like, I don't know what's about to happen, but it's not going to be good for me. So he opens it up, and he starts reading, like, the description of these different Pokemon.
Some of them did have some messed up.
Like, what their powers were, and all this different stuff. Well, then he opens up the Bible, and he's like, you see, they're comparing them to demons. And so, and I mean, I'm not like trying to slander the guy or anything, but in my little 7-year-old mind, this man is comparing
He ruined it.
Pokemon cards to demons and saying that they hold some sort of demonic power. Straight up what this dude said. When I went home after that sermon, my mom made me shred all of my Pokemon cards. You want to talk about fucking brokenhearted? Like,
Here's something though. Carlton Pearson like totally denounced all that because they're making a movie about him.
Really?
I meant to tell you about it. The guy that's in 12 Years a Slave, I can't remember his name. He plays Carlton Pearson. But what he did was he totally said, you know, the Bible's not, it's not
I remember
working.
that happening.
The Ten Commandments, God loves everybody. Right. Everyone's going to get into heaven. And he got.
So, I'm going to get super selfish for a minute. Alright. Carlton Pearson, if you ever hear this, that's not going to bring back my Pokemon cards. I appreciate it. But I feel like you owe me just for the sake of like fixing my soul, because that was very gut-wrenching. But no, that's I do remember that happening.
That was the same way when I was young, which I was born in 95, so I was going right when you couldn't be a kid and not be into all that stuff.
92?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of family that was the same way, you know, like their kids, like, they couldn't watch SpongeBob or Disney and stuff. So like, I'm always sitting there, you know, I got my cards and a little Game Boy game, and, you know, just, because that was pretty much like that, like, I got out of school, like, that's what I was watching on TV, you know?
Yeah.
I was watching DuckTales.
Yeah. I mean, it was always like, it would come on, then that 70s show, then you change it to Fox, and you had The Simpsons.
So just
like,
as
that
a
was
disclaimer,
like what I watched while doing homework.
I feel like I should say that I love my mom very much. She's amazing, and she's awesome, and I'm so glad that she got over all that stuff that was going on.
Awesome. I remember his mom and Thrasher's mom calling my mom saying, there's a thing at the church about all the rock music that our kids are listening to.
Oh, no.
You should go. And my mom's like, yeah, I'm just like trying to hang on to the one kidney I've got and not die. So I don't give a shit if he listens to Guns N' Roses. Click. Oh my God.
That's one thing that I never, like, credit to my parents. I never really had to deal with that too much. The only time I ever had that come up was I bought Disturbed, The Sickness. And I don't know exactly how this happened, but at some point, I think it was actually my aunt who was reading the lyrics in the lyric book.
Oh, yeah.
And called my mom and was like, do you know Devon's listening to a band who's talking about suicide and drugging and all this different shit? And so I had to sit down and explain, like, I mean, it's not. I'm not hearing voices telling me to kill myself. It's just.
I can remember in the 80s when, everybody was the parents against all the shit, you know what I mean? So my brothers get caught smoking pot on the riverbank. I'm like 8 years old, so I'm motherfucking home. And I had Twisted Sister poster. It was old one, pictures, but since they got busted smoking pot, I got my poster tore up. And then it was all laying out in the damn cassettes on the damn truck. See, going to bash him with a fucking sledgehammer and shit. That's from my dad, My dad was a mean guy, though. It sucked.
The only time my parents ever had an issue was when I was cranking Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
My dad.
I could see that.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing listening to rap? Turn that off now.
Yeah.
And he got like visibly pissed off.
I thought he was listening to rap.
Ain't it a shame that you can't say fuck? Fuck's just a word and it's all fucked up.
47 fucks in this fucked up rhyme. And I was like, oh shit.
When I say fuck, what is it, 2 more times? There's 46 fucks in this fucked up rhyme.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well that was their breaking point.
I don't really blame them.
They could have given a fuck. Yeah,
that's kind of like, I mean,
I remember my mom opened the door about the time James Hetfield was like, I got something to say. Boom, boom. I killed your baby today. She's like, what are you listening to?
Yeah. Dude, I had to hide that shit. I had to keep that shit under wraps.
She never bashed me about my music or nothing.
Did you ever play video games
she was
as a
like,
kid?
what the hell you listen to?
No, not
so
really. When I was a little kid, maybe.
The big thing I would hide, like to the point that I had a special book that I would hide it in, was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Because sometimes my dad, like, he let me get away with so much stuff that if my mom knew, she'd drive her nuts. But I knew that if she ever saw me playing that game, like, why are you running around killing hookers in your car?
Yeah.
I'd have been.
I had San Andreas.
I hid that. I had one special book. I hid it in that book. And when I was pretty sure, like, she was in bed and not going to bother me, like, I'd whip it out and play for a while. But
my daughters have always just made them turn it down.
Yeah.
Just turn it down, you play it. Because I think such a shit is
San Andreas, that was a good one, man.
Wasn't San Andreas the one where there was like the special mini game that they found where you could like fuck a chick with a dildo? Yeah. I just said that, but I mean it's legitimate.
What was it, like the hot coffee?
Something like that because they had like there was this big thing where they had to make.
It was almost like those God of War sequences where you had like.
Yes, it was exactly like that, and they had to make the versions of the game where they had that in it. They had to make it like NC-17 or something.
What was the one with all the birds everywhere that you had to go kill? Was that Liberty City or?
At the beginning.
Yeah.
This is how far you made it into it.
No. That was my ex-wife. She would sit home like all day and try to kill these fucking birds.
No, that's nothing like.
And I'm like, the water got shut off. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, that was like the beginning of one of the. I think it might have been Modern Warfare 2, where you're just mowing down people in the airport.
No Russian.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because it gives you the little warning, like, hey, if you're squeamish, don't play this.
Yeah, because you have the option to skip that mission.
That stuff, though.
When it starts off, it gives you the option to skip the mission because of it. That's called like no Russian or something. Because in the elevator, the guy says, "Remember, no Russian," because you're trying to frame someone or some crap. But yeah, you just walk in an airport with like machine gun.
You have this big, like, huge machine gun, and you're walking, and it's just like this whole crowd of people, just civilians chilling, and you just mow them down.
Dude, I had whatever Call of Duties were out, and I had stepdaughters, and I'd have like a 6-year-old look up at me like, I've got more kills than you. Let's do this. and we'd do those death matches, and she would kick my ass every time. I'm like, she's a fucking 6-year-old. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. She's killing me every time.
My problem.
Memories right there. Let me tell you.
Because I remember, the first game system I ever got was an N64, and I had gotten it for Christmas.
Was it? Got to mention GoldenEye.
No. Perfect Dark.
I was about to say
Perfect Dark, but GoldenEye, I played a lot of that. And actually, I guess the first game I ever hid from my mom was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that or played that? Oh, man. The very first boss you fight is a gigantic pile of shit.
Yeah, he has a song.
And he sings a song, I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. Like, it's a horrible game.
Well, the game, like, starts off even with, like, a Clockwork Orange parody and stuff.
That's exactly what it is.
And then he...
The entire game is this little squirrel in it. Every
It's
single...
like alcoholic.
Yeah, he pees all over the place, and, like... There's all of these parodies of these, like, they have a D-Day parody, and they have a Matrix parody, where you play through the scene where they're at the bank, and he's jumping through, or I don't know if it's a bank, but... And then they have the very last boss is the alien. Like, from Alien, they have an alien parody. You get inside the big machine, and you have to kill the alien. Like, it's actually a really good game. But
the graphics were horrendous, but the game was fun.
Yeah, but at the time, the graphics were great.
Yeah.
I still think Contra's badass.
Yeah.
God, yeah, that was a good one.
That was one of my
All the
favorites.
Castlevania.
Have you played the newest
3.
one?
No. Oh,
The
God,
remake?
No. I haven't played video games in years.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I still play video games.
I still want that.
I still play the
Nintendo
same game I
retro
played
thing.
when I was
Yeah,
7.
Exactly.
So
Age of
getting
Empires.
side-by-side
I've got
down
Super
tracks
Nintendo
again.
games on my phone.
Yeah, I did that
Contra on
too.
mine.
I got an emulator on my PC
Yeah.
and got like Zelda and
Really?
Pokemon.
Yeah, I've got Zelda, Yoshi's Island.
I can't help it, man. I'm just stuck in the old days. I mean, I like Mario 3.
See, I played Super Mario.
That
but
was so awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
God, I
great.
could play that all day. I don't want that.
I feel like-
I don't care about Super Mario Land.
I feel like I was growing up on like the back end of everything that people call old school now. So like about the time that stuff was starting to phase out, I kind of got a little hint of it.
Yeah, I was kind
But
of...
I didn't quite get,
Yeah.
all of it.
You got any last minute things you want to ask us about anything?
I think we covered all our...
Yeah, we got everything on our list.
Yeah.
And then some.
You guys had a legit
Then a bunch of
list.
shit about video games.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we do every
I didn't
time.
have any video games on the list to talk about.
Well, we can talk about video games.
So- talk
TNC
about
Surf
that-
Design.
You can
Do
tell
what?
TNC Surf Design.
Is that
There you go.
Monkey?
Yeah.
I'm on that shit.
Did you know that's an
Skater
actual
Die
place?
2. I
still?
want that to come
Is
back.
it?
I love that game.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever.
there's an actual store.
You play
You
Rampage?
know that the video
No.
game came from.
They're doing a movie of that.
I saw that. I don't know how they're going
Me
to
and
do
my
it.
friends
but-
stayed up all night one time to beat Rampage. That's one of my
Yeah.
video game memories.
Me,
Jesse Stewart.
yep, my best friend Louis.
Christ.
He's actually like he and I've been friends since like third
Now you
grade.
could probably beat it in an hour and a half.
I just
Or an
played
hour.
Age of Empires
Took
with
us
him
like 8
yesterday.
hours.
Well, he and I used to stay up and play Rampage, trying to beat it too. And then you get to like you unlock the different characters. It was like this guy's so badass. Like, I really wish that I could be as like thoroughly filled with joy as I am or as I used to be when it comes to playing video games. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but some of my favorite memories where I was like the most just overjoyed was with video games, and that's incredibly sad.
It's like you
But-
like finally beat that water level.
Yeah, man. Like, and I know, and I'm just gonna say this because I know I'm not the only person who's done it. Like, have you ever sat there when you're a little kid and you fought this boss and you fought this boss and you fought this boss?
Rage
So
quit
you
and
stop and pray. Have you ever done that?
I've
Like,
done,
I remember being a little kid and like I would try to beat this boss and I couldn't beat the boss and I'd be like, "Dear God, please let me beat this boss. I just want to move on."
I was real bad. I'd have like a
I would
game.
stop and be like,
Yeah, right.
okay.
Well, that's what I do now. But, yeah.
Have you seen that Duff McKagan documentary?
Not
His
yet.
book?
I've seen the
I keep
one
I
on
keep
Netflix.
forgetting to watch it.
It's
I've seen like
great.
half of it like a year ago, and I never finished it, and it's still in my queue.
Man, I watched it like about a week ago or something. I was like, this is badass. I never
It's
even
so
heard of
easy
this.
and other lies. or
Yeah, they
whatever.
play all the music in the background.
Yeah, he tells a story, and then you've got like these guys in the background doing like,
November Rain or something.
fusion jazz, easy listening versions of Guns N'
Yeah.
Roses songs while he's telling stories. And I still haven't finished it, but it's.
But it was really good. I mean,
Have you ever listened to him on like Josta's podcast? He's been on our couple times.
Oh,
It's like-
yeah, he's the best.
It's pretty fascinating to listen
He's
to because
really-
he's like
Whip smart.
so
man.
smart. And, yeah.
I don't listen to Jocelyn's podcast.
Oh, okay.
Not much. I mean, it's
I
so.
think he's been on Jericho soon. Actually.
Oh yeah.
On the SoundCloud, I've got y'all's and Jocelyn's. So I have listened to it some, and a lot of times I'll go listen to Eddie Trunk sometimes, But-
To me, Josta is like the top. Like you can't get better than that.
Yeah, he's good at anything he does. Though.
Because he gets anyone he wants, and he asks anything he wants to ask. It's great.
So I'm pretty sure we did the same thing this time we did last time. We started out great, super on task, and then about part of the ways after that, just everything went off the rails.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
That's the joy of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's just the same shit over and over, and it gets boring, right?
Yeah, right.
I like to play music because music is wonderful. Music makes my soul smile.
Which all of it's true, but nobody says it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You come to my house, you kick my dog. Why you kick my dog?
Well, thank you guys for coming out here and doing this.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
we're
having
rolling.
us.
I'm over here. I'm like, fuck it, whatever.
Are we
Yeah,
still
gave
rolling?
up on you. He's
Super
like,
Mario 3, I'm drunk. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
you start talking about video games, I'm lost.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought we stopped rolling like a while ago.
There you go, Travis, Devon, Jade of Claim Your Enemy. Thank you so much for them for taking the time out of their day to come and hang out with us all evening. I'm running over all my words there. That was a nice lengthy chat that covered everything from their music to Warrant to video games. So you can't beat that.
I mean, we covered it all.
Right. And now we're going to cover some more because we've got a brand new song from Claim Your Enemy that is debuting right now here with this episode. And for the foreseeable future, this is the only place you can hear it. So come back and click on this episode some more and keep listening to this song. This is Why Me. Why Me, brand new Thunder Underground exclusive from Claim Your Enemy.
That's right. You're only going to hear it here. And thanks to those guys for letting us be the one outlet where you can hear it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. We're quite an honor that they thought highly enough of us to just say, hey, here, play this on your show.
Yeah.
So why him? Just like all their other stuff, kicks ass. It's in your face. You could sing along to it. Devon's vocals, really tie this band together with everything. We've said it countless times when we talk about Claim Your Enemy. They've got everything. Great rhythm section, great guitarists, and great vocals. And just like everything else that they do, it has a killer solo from Brian. Can't go wrong.
Oh, yeah. Heavy as hell.
Yeah.
You said why him. It's why me, right?
I say why him.
You said why him a minute ago.
I saw that movie a while back. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So, brand new Claim Your Enemy featuring James Franco. What do you think of that?
Oh, the hell?
The movie.
Yeah, I know. That threw me off for a minute.
Yeah. This is just okay. If this is your first time listening.
We're not usually this stupid.
Yeah. Usually our jokes are better, people.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. TheThunderUnderground.com. All the social media is there. Follow us on everything and like us on everything. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground is where everything is based, but you can also listen to us on pretty much anywhere podcast or heard. You can also hear us every Monday night on 1027 WSNR.com, 7 p.m. Central. They've got tons of other great shows on there, so check them out. And you go back through us. If you haven't listened to our previous stuff, we got 153 previous episodes that features stuff that's completely not metal, like Shooter Jennings and Ian Moore. And then we've got stuff that is completely metal, like Kirk Winstein. We've had on the guys from Battlecross 4 times. We've had on guys from Death Angel, Overkill, the mighty Sid Falk from the heyday of Overkill has been on this thing.
That's right.
Wino, the forefather of doom metal, has been on this podcast. Gene Simmons of the rock group Kiss.
You might know him.
Yes. A former member of the rock group Kiss. Bruce Kulick has also been on this podcast.
Yes.
What do we got? Vinnie Vincent will be on this podcast in a few weeks.
He will?
Just got word while we were doing this episode.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a round table with Vinnie Vincent, James Hetfield, and Lita Ford.
Jesus Christ. All right, now we really need to wrap it up. They get the gist of it.
Okay.
And I just wanted, but I did think it was really cool that you wore a Scattered Hamlet shirt to the Gene Simmons interview, because I guess that's a no-no.
Right. Well, that was like 6 years ago or something, and ours was just like 9 months ago.
Yeah, true. Gene's softened up since then.
Right. We appreciate you listening, and until next time.
Can you edit things out that we say?
Thunder Underground, y'all.